Welcome back. May is recognized as National Water Safety Month, and the YMCA of the USA wants your kids to be safe when they swim. Take a look at this conversation sponsored by A-1 Broadcast. Well, viewers, May is National Water Safety Month, which means it's the perfect time for parents and caregivers to contact their local Y and sign their children up for a safety around water program or swim lesson. So we've called in an expert, Lindsay Mondick from the YMCA, to talk a little bit about how we can avoid distractions and make sure we're keeping our children safe this summer. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Lindsay, we know that you are an expert with the YMCA, and we'd love to hear more about the current campaign going on and why Phones Down, Eyes Up matters.
Yeah, as we head into summer, we know most of us are spending more time around the water, and we know drowning is silent, and it can happen in as little as 30 seconds. But not only is it silent, but we know that 88% of drownings happen under some form of supervision, and that's why at the Y we're not just focused on swimming lessons this summer, although we do have a history of teaching lessons, but we're also wanting to educate parents and caregivers of the importance of watching children when they're in or around water.
Mhm. Let's talk more about this Water Watcher initiative and how families can take a pledge to become a part of the change.
Yeah, our new campaign this summer is Phones Down, Eyes Up. And if families go to phonesdowneyesup.org, they can take a pledge where they really dedicate themselves to being a water watcher this summer and focus on watching children anytime they're near the water.
Let's talk about, obviously, this campaign is happening, but a big way to help with the future and longevity of making sure children are safe around water is to give them that knowledge and preparation through swimming lessons and talk about what the Y has to offer.
Yeah, we know that swimming lessons save lives. In fact, if children have swimming lessons, they're 88% less likely to have any sort of drowning incident. And at the Y, we know swimming lessons. We have our swimming lessons as well as our Safety Around Water program. And our Safety Around Water program is really focused on teaching skills, those basic skills of water safety and water competency to keep themselves and others safe around water.
That's right. I know for myself, I learned how to swim before I learned how to walk, and I'm so grateful to my parents for that because I've never been afraid of water, and I feel confident in a body of water. And the reality is, kids don't have to go far or be far out of reach from a safe zone, quote unquote, to end up in a dangerous situation, right?
Yeah, most drownings happen within 10 feet of safety or within 10 feet of a person who is watching them. And so that's why we really feel it's important to educate parents about limiting distractions. We now have cell phones, and when we have our cell phone, it's really easy to pick up that phone, check an email, check social media, or if we're sitting next to somebody having a conversation where we really want to focus on watching those kids when they're around the water.
Let's talk more about what it actually means to be taking this pledge and using these tools for families.
Yeah, when you take the pledge, you are really pledging to be a water watcher. If you go to phonesdowneyesup.org, there is a water safety toolkit that has water safety tips. We also have this downloadable water watcher badge that you can use and download so that you can designate yourself as a water watcher. And what that means is if I'm a water watcher, my sole focus is really to watch any child that I'm in charge of during that time. And then I can take that badge off and give it to one of my friends so they know it's their turn to watch the water.
Which is amazing because it takes a community too, right? We want eyes on.
Absolutely. The more eyes on the water, the better. And that accountability for making sure we know that we're in charge is really important as parents too.
Well, Lindsay, where can our viewers learn more information on any classes the Y has available and if they would like to take the pledge?
Yeah, so Phones Down, Eyes Up .org is where they can go to find out about the pledge as well as some of those tools and resources. They can also check out their local YMCA. They can find their YMCA through the Phones Down, Eyes Up website, as well as checking out their local Y for registering for swimming lessons and safety around water programming.
All righty, Lindsay, thank you so much for giving us this important message through our sponsors at the YMCA of the United States of America. Thanks again for speaking with us and have a great day. Well, like Lindsay said, you can sign your children up for the YMCA Safety Around Water program and take the pledge to become a water watcher by visiting phonesdowneyesup.org. This segment is sponsored by A1 Broadcast.